Mikra has a product called Self that works on the cellular level for energy and overall wellness. And with me is the CEO of Mikra, Faraaz Jamal, to explain more about this product. And we were talking about brain fog, and we hear a lot about it now because of long COVID, but it's not just long COVID. I had brain fog long before COVID happened. But what are you finding with your product and brain fog?
Yeah, so long COVID actually really brought brain fog to the surface. But brain fog and chronic fatigue has been around for a very long time. And one of the major things that we created Self around was the actual ability to combat that. So we're actually one of the only supplements out there right now that are actually engaging in a clinical trial for chronic fatigue syndrome. And we're honestly seeing so many great results from our customers and everyone else trying to combat these things. And it's really interesting. Like the way that brain fog is diagnosed is very, very anecdotal, quite honestly. There isn't a really good set regimen of tools that doctors can use. But if you're essentially like waking up super tired from the night before, and you got your 8 hours of sleep, or even if you're mid-afternoon, you're like, I don't feel very good, I'm gonna have to slam back a couple of cups of coffee or something like that. This is where Self actually really cuts through and where people see the most benefit from the product. And generally speaking, once you've hit that like 30-ish mark, you start to feel more and more tired over time. And that's what we're trying to solve.
Yeah. And let's remind everybody how it works.
Yeah.
So this is like a peanut butter, right? Okay, so describe how we take it and then what it does to our body.
Yeah, peanut butter is actually a really good way of describing that. We call it a nutraceutical gel. And the sweet spot here is that we take bioactive compounds, so naturally occurring compounds that you could find in very low quantities in like broccoli and spinach and elsewhere within nature. And then we concentrate them. And then we essentially pair them with our technology, which is a direct-to-cellular technology. So that ensures that your cells actually absorb and utilize the compounds. And then furthermore, we make sure that the product isn't oxidized in any way, shape, or form. So it's not sitting in the lab or anything of the sort. We actually batch our products, so they're actually pretty small batches to ensure that they're potent, they're effective, and they're going to work.
Yeah, and in fact, your batches are small that you ran out and like there was demand and all of that, right?
Yeah, so. It's been really humbling, to be honest, to see how many people continuously want to take Self, that are giving it to their families and everything of the sort. And I'm eternally grateful for all the demand, but we are scaling up quite quickly.
Now, why do you think the world needs Self?
I set out to design a product that would prevent people from having to essentially spend more time in the hospital. We're living much longer as a society. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, people aren't enjoying that like extended life. They're feeling fatigued. They're feeling like they're chronically inflamed. They can't go on their hikes or their morning walks and things like that. And you know what? Like they can't hang out with their grandchildren either. And it's disappointing to see. And the way that we engineered Self and the way that we're setting out with Mikra is essentially to prevent all of these chronic things from happening way before they actually start. And it's something that modern healthcare right now isn't super incentivized around. Like the majority of healthcare spending, like about 90% of it, has all to do with chronic conditions. Yeah. But we're always treating like the surface issues, never like decades in advance.
That's right, and prevention and maybe just the overall quality of life.
Exactly.
Sounds like what you're aiming for too.
Yeah,
for
that's our goal.
And there's some celebrities and pro athletes that are using this, so
yeah.
Can you tell us who and what are they saying?
Yeah, so we've got Ashley Wagner and Edward Cullen-Jones, who are both Olympians, both in figure skating and swimming. And then we also have Jose Bautista, who's MLB superstar as well. And quite honestly, we're seeing such amazing success from even like top tier athletes like that. The ability to bounce back after a really strong workout session or get a deeper, more restorative sleep. These are all really cool things. And then I got some feedback from a journalist the other day where I guess they had set out and they weren't quite sure if it was actually going to work or not. And the feedback that we got was that it was annoyingly how effective it was. So it was great feedback to have, but it also speaks to like the skepticism around supplements and things like that. So I'm really.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right, because people are like, oh, come on. Like, and plus we've heard a lot of these claims in the past, and you're like, didn't really work. So
exactly.
You know, and we know that people want to sell those things, so there's always that question.
Yeah, and that's primarily the core of who we are. Like, what we want to do is we want to throw self through the gamut of clinical trials. We want to really be able to prove them out, and we're going to set out to do that, and we're seeing such amazing success, and we already have a clinical trial pipeline in the works, and yeah, we're very excited for the future.
So I was going to ask about that. What's the future? So you've got a clinical trial. What are you studying in the trial, and then just about expansion? Where do you go?
So chronic fatigue syndrome is our major focus right now, and then we're looking at other clinical indications like anxiety, as well as a couple of sleep studies. So we're really excited about those, and then. In parallel, we actually have a new product coming out soon, just targeting cellular athletic therapeutics. So we're really excited about being able to enhance somebody's quality of workout, and then also diminish the amount of time it takes for them to recover from it. Yeah, so if you've ever like gone for like a 5K or like a really, really strenuous, any sort of exercise in the morning, and then you get to work and you're like, I feel a little bit tired and like my mind's not quite there. This new product's going to solve that issue.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I know a ton of people that would be interested in that, actually. We'll talk later. Thank you so much for coming back in and giving us an update.
No, I really appreciate it, Jane. Thank you.